What is he looking at? What the f... So we've gotten infected. Splendid. And it's nighttime as well. That's the problem. Like, when are we first gonna notice that we haven't infected? What are you doing? Unless that just looks suspicious because it's nighttime and what, but who could that be? Is that why they've been grouping up?
They might as well be the only people left in the world.
It's kind of weird because I never expected these two to be like a thing, but...
Deep in the heart of me.
Okay, well, now you're just embarrassing me.
Because if one gets infected, chaos ensues. People will try and argue the point of should we be killing the infected or should we be what? You know, it makes it so complicated. Watch out. Oh my days. Surely she's able to defend herself against one walker though, surely. As long as it doesn't like, you know. The thing as well, I guess it makes sense because you pull your guard down when you're in safety like this. So when incidents happen, they happen because your guard's not up. Whoa. He is awake. Wait, so the walker just bypassed all the other rooms to go to her? What the heck? Who even is that? Who is that? Who is that? Someone I don't know. Thank freaking goodness. I'm not trying to... And the infection is spreading... I mean, is that really quiet? How would she not hear all the gargling, man? For God's sakes. So we've got more than one walker. How can you die so quietly? I can't be saying that. So somehow, yeah, the infection has now spread inside beyond just one person. And of course it's nighttime, so we're not going to be able to notice. Oh. Oh, for God's sakes. So sad as well that everyone's just like going on with their days like normal, not realizing that people are literally being eaten.
Sorry.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Change it.
I hate it when people get those little Polaroids in movies of people, or photos of people, because part of me feels like usually that means that ends up being the thing that they hold on to. Oh my days, I swear to flip. Stay up there, please. Stay up there. Because everyone's guard is down. This is why I struggle with these scenarios. People not carrying guns as well.
Dylan got one cluster yesterday. Probably gonna need more people today. Maybe we could help.
I got other plans.
Dude, imagine it's Carl doing that.
Dirt and cucumbers.
Yeah,
That's what I should have said.
he's trying to keep Carl away from it, and I understand, but it's really, really weird because, hear me out. With Carl's development, I've repeatedly said that I don't know how to feel about it because he's already been exposed to the worst the apocalypse can offer. Like, his mum, he had to kill his own mother. Like, can it get much worse than that, you know? Rick is trying to save that last bit of him, but it's kind of too late. Like, I don't think Carl is bad. I don't think he's got a bad moral side or any of that. I just think he's been shaped very specifically, and, like, it's too late to change that, weirdly. I don't know. Is that just me? I feel like Rick is so focused on trying to build this Woodbury 2.0 and have people fed and no weapons and have people not to be scared, etc. He's just repeating some of the mistakes the governor made, or just anyone that thinks that normality can be a thing in this kind of world. I just don't think it can be. I think the guard must always be up. But can you really have everyone walking around with guns? No, not in a society this big.
Can I have my gun back?
Here we go.
Worms will give him some extra protein.
Oh, there's the gunshots. Oh, gosh almighty. Oh, come on, miss. So it's situations like this where Carl needs a gun. Somebody do something, man. Oh.
Come here.
Get inside, for goodness sakes. Is she bitten? Oh my days, look at the chaos. Oh. No, don't hug outside, you absolute... Cut it off. Cut it off.
We're gonna have to amputate your arm.
Oh my Jesus, Carol.
We clear down here.
He's gone, man. Put the poor guy out quietly. Whoa. You know what? The council's going to have to get together and talk about ways to avoid this or ways to counteract this kind of thing. Until we find out how he was infected as well, it's almost like it needs to be quarantine, lockdown, you know, who and how did it start? Wait, that's not... That wasn't who I think it was it?
Can you look out?
Of course
There
you
you
will.
go.
Imagine having to kill someone in that position. Like, they're not dead yet. Eventually, it must make everyone cold having to do this. You're having to kill people. Sometimes against their will. Sometimes against their family members' wills. Other people's wills. Like, that is horrid.
You're gonna have to let them say goodbye. Okay? Okay.
That's horrid. Whoa. Jesus Christ, Rick.
No bites, no wounds. I think he just died.
Horribly, too.
Wow.
Pleurisy, aspiration.
Choked to death on his own blood.
Wait, so I'm thinking that there's another way it spreads, but he's right actually. I didn't even think about that. It could genuinely be that he had a heart attack or he had some kind of condition that killed him, you know, or something like that, or maybe someone poisoned him. But like, there's like so many ways that you could create this kind of conflict. Either just natural death, which we obviously did not account would happen, like things like this, like dying of old age or dying of disease or dying of things we can no longer track, which is crazy. We can't detect these things anymore. Like, how do we put certain people on lockdown if we're not even aware of them being unwell or dying? Or now, literally, if someone's unwell, it's like quarantine, lockdown, boom, boom, boom. Even if it's just a cold, you know.
Could be pneumococcal, most likely an aggressive flu strain.
Someone locked him in just in time.
Jesus Christ.
Charlie used to sleepwalk. How could somebody die in a day just from a cold?
I had a sick pig, died quick.
That's a fair point though, like
Saw
how?
a sick boar in the woods.
Pigs and birds, that's how these things spread in the past.
Oh, Jesus Christ, so...
We need to do something about those hogs. We've all been exposed.
I mean, I'm not discounting the fact that this was potentially orchestrated or something, but who knows? He's gone, man.
Come on, it's time.
We should be the ones.
They want to...
No. I can't. I can do it.
Okay, well, you have to do it now. And you do it right now because you have to do it before he turns. I'm going to stay right here.
She actually genuinely gonna... Because she was the one who was like... Wasn't she the one who was against? I would never ever put the kid in that situation. It's freaking brutal, man, but it's life now.
Hey, you might want to stay back. Carl.
Oh, in case there's some kind of...
I didn't freak him out.
It's okay, I'm here. Patrick got sick last night. Some kind of flu. It moves fast. We think he
jeez.
died and attacked the cell block. We lost a lot of good people.
I don't know what it is, but something about Carl to me, you know, who's holding the rat, part of me feels like it's got something to do with Carl. I know that sounds whack. He's desperate to get out and start using guns again and start helping kill walkers and start this, but his father has been restricting him from doing that. So would he go out and try and do it at nighttime? Why else would someone be out there drawing walkers in that kind of controlled way?
Is anyone else showing symptoms that we know of?
Can't just wait and see.
Don't
There's
think
children.
so. So is it about
It
people
isn't
showing
just the
symptoms?
illness. People die, they become a threat.
We need a place for them to go.
Think that'll work for Dr. S?
I'll help Caleb get it set up.
Doctor Who? I just said Doctor Who.
You sure? You don't sound so good.
I'm just taking her back to my cell so she can rest.
Oh my
I don't
god.
think that's a good idea.
I think it's a flu or something.
And here comes the conflict. It's now a matter of another illness being out. This isn't the usual virus we're used to. This is something different. I have hope that we have a better way of treating it, but it's a matter of, can we get the medicine? Do we have enough medicine or supplies to treat it? And if not, how do we sacrifice certain people? Imagine that's what it becomes like. You know when you find out someone's sick? And you're like, you start having like pseudo symptoms and you're thinking like, oh gosh almighty, am I getting sick now as well? That's all I can think about right now.
Wasn't much use without my gun.
Oh, you were. All this time you've been taking off, you earned it. We wouldn't be here without you.
It was all of us.
No.
I like how they're appreciating Rick and like, you know, I know they did for a lot, I know most of them always did, right, but just hear me out. They all accept that he needed to rest from leading. Now, it sounds to me like it's time to crack on again and to come back stronger. And I think this is Rick's, this is it now, this is him having to come back.
You gonna help us figure this out?
I screwed up too many times. Those calls you gotta make. I start down that road. I almost lost my boy, who he was.
Wow, so he just doesn't believe in his ability to make that choice anymore.
I'm here for it.
Like I said, you earned it. For what it's worth, you see mistakes. I see when the shit hits. You're standing there with the shovel.
Yeah. Oh gosh. But we need like Molotovs and stuff, eh, that we can throw over the bloody fences. Jab. No more farming, unfortunately. The thing is, as long as when you start seeing Laurie, when he believes that he feels guided by her, just trust that instinct. I think he thinks it's almost like a sign of his insanity, and maybe he is going a bit bonkers, but if he just trusts his gut and trusts his heart and following Laurie, which I think is his inner self telling him what's right, I know he will be okay. He can lead and have a hand on his back, you know, like he doesn't need to feel like he's not held up.
I fell on my ass. They should have just left me out there.
Now that's stupid.
Exactly. You're a part of the family, Michonne.
You okay?
Does she always cry like that?
I think she senses people's moods.
Are we getting more for Michonne's past? She's pregnant, isn't she?
We're supposed to stay away from each other.
1000%. Or
Are you seeing this?
she's getting freaking. Oh! Someone don't bite, please. Ooh!
Did you tell your dad what you saw in the library yesterday?
Nope.
Wow, so he didn't talk.
I have to keep teaching those kids to survive. You know that.
I think Carl.
Did you tell their parents?
The thing is, I don't think Carl disagrees with that. I just think he sees his dad is stopping him from learning and protecting people and doing that thing as well. So it's like, why am I being kept from this kind of thing? But then these kids that are younger than me are being exposed to it behind, you know, maybe that's where this came from. I don't think he disagrees.
Are you gonna tell them?
If you tell your dad, he'll tell them.
Come on, Carl.
And like I said, maybe they'll understand, maybe they won't.
I don't want to lie to my dad.
I'm not asking you to lie.
It's just not saying. Bro, is Michonne doing dips already? Bro, her ankle's just...
Shoot. Can you hold her a second? Please, I'm covered in carrots.
No!
Wow. Did Michonne lose a child or something? Or was she like, because she seems so like, oh, it's not funny, but like, oh. I just see pain in those eyes, man. That breaks my heart, even though I have no idea what happened. See, what is the plan? Daryl was just driving and Rick's like with some kind of crate. Is it like fresh meat or something? Yeah, they need more stringent defences on these fences, eh? I know it's just a show, but I hate those sounds, man. So fucking triggering for me, like... Oh, I think I was watching a YouTube video about something. Like, I think it was just a short or like some YouTube video. And it was a thing about like slaughterhouses and like the life of like animals. It is horrid. I watched that video and then just something snapped. Whoosh! I physically cannot eat meat now. I can't do it. Even the dairy industry is bad enough in itself, you know? Just the stuff like this, it cuts me, man. It's... And the screams, because it's like, it's such an innocent, pure, defenseless being. More! You probably become more aware of what you do to get your food in this sort of situation. So like, do more people then want to stop, or like how does that affect people? I feel like crap now. Like, I'm being serious. Like that scenes like that just make me want to stop watching, to be honest with you.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Carol's been teaching the kids
Oh,
how to
you...
use weapons, how to kill. The parents don't know.
Carl.
She doesn't want you.
Well, if anything, Carl telling him after what's just happened, it eases my mind just a little bit that he will be more okay with it. But oh, for God's sakes.
I think you should let her. I know you're gonna say it's not up
Oh.
to you,
Okay.
but it can be.
I don't think... That actually surprises me. Like, Carl said, I think you should let her. I agree, but like I said, I don't think he disagrees, but oh, geez Louise, Rick, man. It's because of how he nearly lost Carl. That's why he is like that. He's so sensitive to the idea of... I think, at least.
I won't stop her.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I've completely misread Rick. I thought he would be much more against it, but like... I guess, like we've just seen, he's kind of anti-decision. The vibe I get is like... Rick, deep down inside, he's like anti it, and he's like, he wants to direct us and he wants to lead us in a different direction, but beyond that and everything else in his body is telling him, I'm gonna step back. See how hard that was? He didn't want to do that. Oh, and he's strapping up as well? Whoa. Why does this not feel good? All I can think is like the parallel between the governor, Philip becoming the governor and putting on the mantle of the governor, Rick becoming the leader and putting the mantle on as the leader. He has no time to rest. That's the problem. And the world will continue to break him. To break all of us. 100%. Oh, God. What is he looking at? What the Oh! So in episode 1, you would have heard me say it felt really odd. Like I was watching it and I was like, it's not that I don't like it, but it's just hard to keep up with and I don't know what to think. I am now starting to catch the drift of season 4. Holy guacamole. Trying to replicate Woodbury but better, like the consequences of that, the conflict, having a council leaders where the groups divide and split. Oh my goodness gracious me, and we've just seen, we've had to burn somebody's loved one. I don't know how people take that. Not everyone will take that the same way. And because we don't have guns, we can't shoot them in the head and then what? Like, he has gone out and found her dead. Blimey. I don't even know what to think where that leads. It's just bad. Someone's not going to be happy with this, and it will create conflict and the group will splinter until somebody takes charge properly. There's a lot in this episode about the development of Rick and the development of Carl and like whether Rick's willing to take up the mantle of leader again and how that will affect him going forward. I think this episode was realization that he needs to, this group needs him. So it is kind of like, yeah, perfect timing in this kind of scenario for someone that needs to step up and make hard decisions if the council can't agree or if people are going to create too much of an uprising or what. He's got the power to make decisions if he needs to. And he puts down the mantle as farmer and he's now back as Rick and we see where that takes us. I think it will take us positively in a positive direction, but for Rick, I do not think that this mantle benefits him. The longer he carries it, the worse he gets. At times when he loses the support structure, maybe it's even worse. I'm just praying that we always have that structure around and people's ability to turn to him and say, look, Rick, it's time to rest, you know. That's what I'm praying. But yeah, what an episode. Probably one of my more favourite ones of recently because it just showed us so much about the intergroup stuff, showed us about infection spreading within. We've got this whole new virus. We think it's very, very vague at this point in time. I'm not completely decided whether that's completely understanding. We still don't know who was feeding the walkers and drawing them in a certain direction. There are a few suspicious people in the group that have arrived. Maybe someone previously knowing the governor. Maybe it's just someone trying to break down the walls of this community. Maybe it's Carl trying to break free of the restrictions put on him. Maybe it's another kid. Maybe it's... we don't know. It could even be those little girls, for goodness sakes. Like, it could be anyone, and there are many motives for why. I don't necessarily think the motive for the rats is bad. Well, it's just potentially nearly breeded horrible consequences. No, it has had horrible consequences. Those poor pigs, man. And yeah, what an episode. I loved that episode because it just felt heart-wrenching, and it was the first time in a while which I feel like I've genuinely felt worried for the survival of my favourites, you know. Like, it felt like there are like a couple other times when you get walkers, it's like you really just sort of feel desensitized, but this episode sort of slaps you in the face and goes, dude, why are you taking your eye off the ball? Like, I'm still a threat, what are you doing? And just letting us know that there is casualty waiting around the corner. What else happened? That reaction. So yeah, bar Rick coming back and what that does for him, which I've already spoken about, and I'll get to more in the next couple of reactions. With the whole thing about teaching kids weapons, which Rick said he will sort of stand back and allow it to happen. I think he's trying to, I think even though he's coming back, I think it's more like he wants to continue to dissociate himself from those decisions and from all that stuff as much as possible. He wants to feel like he's protecting his family, he wants to feel like he's doing his part. Let me just say I'm glad that we've now got a council, because it means that Rick can make final decisions, or Rick can make decisions that aren't made up by council, but ultimately there are a lot of people making decisions. Like way back when you think of when we had Dale and his decision and how everyone was sort of just hoping that Rick would decide. Now, I don't think that would ever have worked. Like I said back then, it wasn't good and I was annoyed that no one stood up. Now we have a council where people have to sort of, you know, utilise their role. It's not just like, you can't just step back from a decision, you have to voice your opinion. And yeah, I like that a lot. I think it'll be beneficial for us in the long run. Another thing that the governor didn't have, it's just there's little things the governor didn't do, or there's little things that I see as a difference from Woodbury as to why it won't end up like Woodbury, but there are also a lot of reasons why this may fail. It's just complicated. Like I said, this number of people, it'll be hard to lead them successfully without hiccups. Oh gosh, do I have anything else to say? Where to from now? Yeah, it's just figuring out this virus, how to contain it, whether anyone else is infected, whether we can treat it, all these different things that we need to think about ASAP to be able to push forward safely and hope that none of our survivors get infected and eventually become infected. Just like double infection, can't catch a break. And yeah, but there's the thing about Maggie, actually, that's another thing. I think she's pregnant. She's got to be, because unless she's unwell, it frustrates me though, because the whole Polaroid, like, shit, man, like that, man, it just, for me, is hinting towards that Polaroid being a thing to remember her by. Like, for God's sakes, why does this show have to do this to me? It was just a tough episode. Like, it hurt here, and there's no time to take her eye off the ball. Like, now we've got more problems and an even bigger situation. And once again, we're not going to be able to be prepared for the governor, are we? Because our eye has been taken off the ball from him. I don't think we're now searching for him. Michonne certainly isn't. So is this the point in time where he starts to build and like grow in the shadows without us being aware? Have we taken our eye off that problem? Because that is not over. And yeah, it stresses me out, man. I will say this. Let me just say this. First episode, I was like kind of not sure if I liked the big jump, and I wanted to see the build up, and I wanted to see everything around creating this community, and I wanted to see all that and how we got to this stage. Now I can understand why it's being told from this perspective, because it's like we're given a picture of the way we want this to work. We've got 30 days without an incident. Boom, boom, boom. This is how we want it ideally to run. This is as close as we've been to a Woodbury replica, and then we get a hiccup, and then we get something like this which sets us back a long way, and it shows us that you have to, like, the thing is you have to suffer consequences to learn in these situations. People have to die for us to survive this apocalypse. It sucks, but it's true. And eventually, I'm sure we'll look back and we'll mourn the deaths of all those that are passed. We'll think of all these times. We'll feel sorrow and guilt and all these emotions, but we'll also feel grateful that these decisions and these sacrifices have led us to a strong place. I hope. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there, guys, because now I'm just rambling nonsense. If you enjoyed as ever, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for new content every single week. And of course, for the Instagram, DanielReeve2Ds, and let me know down below what you thought of the episode, the reaction, and I'll get to those as soon as I possibly can. Bye, you guys. This is from me. As ever, this has been your boy Dan. As ever, this has been your boy Dan. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.